Good morning. So today's class I am going to discuss the question paper of December 2019 S1 BTech degree examination. Engineering mechanics. I am going to discuss the dynamics part first. So I will deal with the part A questions and then the module 4 and 5 full length questions. So the first question from the portion of dynamics, question number 7. A body is projected at an angle such that its horizontal displacement is 3 times that of maximum height. Find the angle of projection. 3-mark question. So it is direct application of the formula on projectiles. So for a projectile you are given here the maximum horizontal displacement is 3 times the maximum height. You are given this. If so, what is the angle of projection? So whenever the projection portion on projectile comes to your mind, you have to see that this initial velocity u has 2 components, u cos alpha and the vertical component is u sin alpha. The velocity, horizontal velocity u cos alpha remains same throughout the motion. Only this u sin alpha vertical component changes due to the effect of gravity. So the horizontal distance travelled will be equal to u cos alpha and the time taken. So from that equation etc. we have derived it. R is equal to the range of the projectile is equal to u square by g sin 2 alpha and the maximum height attained by the projectile is u square sin square alpha by g, and the time of flight, if you remember, the total time required for this flight is 2u sin alpha by g. This is not required in this here, 2u sin alpha by, that is not required. We need these two only. R is equal to 3. Substitute u square by g sin 2 alpha is equal to 3 times u square sin square alpha by g. So I am substituting R is equal to 3h. So first u square gets cancelled, g gets cancelled. Sin 2 alpha, 2 sin alpha cos alpha. You should know the trigonometry. Sin 2 alpha, 2 sin alpha cos alpha, that is equal to, so u square sin is equal to 3 sin square alpha, u square sin square alpha by 2g, that is u square sin square alpha by 2g, so it is 3 by 2. Now dividing throughout by alpha, you see divide by sin alpha, dividing throughout by sin alpha you will get 2 cos alpha is equal to 3 by 2 sin alpha, or taking this to other side, sin alpha again dividing by cos alpha, sin alpha by cos alpha is equal to cos alpha times 2 sin alpha 3 by 2, so it will become 2 into 2, 4 by 3. Sin alpha by cos alpha, this 2 comes here. So it will become 3 by 4, or sin alpha by cos alpha will become 4 by 3, or tan alpha is equal to 4 by 3, and therefore alpha is equal to 53.13 degree. So it is 3 marks. Very simple example. Just u square by g sin 2 alpha equals u square sin square alpha by 2g. That expression is to be known. Next question, question number 8. The position of a particle moving along a straight line is defined by the relation x is equal to t cube minus 3t square minus 9t plus 12. Determine the time taken by the particle when its velocity becomes 0. So the question number 8. So let us try this example. The question is, when x is equal to t cube minus 3t square minus 9t plus 2, we are asked to find the time when the velocity becomes 0. What is the relation between velocity and displacement? V is equal to rate of change of displacement dx by dt. V is equal to dx by dt. So differentiate this expression. Differentiating 3t square minus 6t minus 9. You are asked to find out the time when the velocity becomes 0. So when 3t square minus 6t minus 9 is equal to 0. So you solve this. T is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So solving this, you will get minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. So it will become plus. You will get the answer as 6 plus or minus 12 divided by 6. We can take 6 plus 12, 18 by 6, 3 seconds. Negative is not valid. So the time is equal to 3 seconds. This is the answer. This is also having 3 marks. So within seconds, we can do this example. Just know v is equal to dx by dt. If you are asked to find out the acceleration, a is equal to d square x by dt square, or a is equal to dv by dt. Make use of that. Okay. So let us see the next question, question number 9. A flywheel weighing 500 Newton and having radius of gyration 0.4 meter loses its speed from 300 rpm to 180 rpm in 1 minute. Calculate the torque acting on it. So coming to this question, a flywheel of weight 500, radius of gyration 0.4 meter, it reduces its speed from 300 to 180 in 1 minute. You are asked to find out the torque. We know the torque expression for T is equal to I into alpha. Similar to F is equal to ma, T is equal to I alpha. Mass is replaced with mass, moment of inertia. Linear acceleration A is replaced with angular acceleration. Instead of force, we have the torque. So T is equal to I alpha. See, what is I? I is equal to mass, moment of inertia of the flywheel. That is equal to given by I is equal to mk square. I is equal to mk square. The weight is given as 500. So 500 divided by 9.8 into k square, 0.4 square. Okay, that will give you the mass, moment of inertia. It works out to 8.163. Now, alpha. What is alpha? Angular acceleration. For finding that, we are given this data. Change velocity, initial velocity, final velocity, the time. So, we have the equation. Omega 1 is equal to omega 0 plus alpha t. V is equal to u plus at. Similar to that. Final velocity equals initial velocity plus acceleration times time. So from this we can write alpha is equal to omega 1 minus omega 0, change in velocity divided by time. So just substitute these details, but you have to convert this RPM, revolution per minute, that into radians per second. So we have the equation omega is equal to 2 pi n by 60. If the angular speed is given in revolution per minute, we can convert it into angular speed in radians per second using the formula 2 pi n by 60. So here it is 2 pi into 300 divided by 60. So it will work out to 10 pi radian per second. Similarly, this works out to 180 2 pi n. 2 pi n by 60. This works to 6 pi radian per second. Time 1 minute. 1 minute is 60 seconds. So convert everything into radians and seconds. Substitute here omega 1 6 pi minus 10 pi divided by 60. So it will be giving minus 0.209 radian per second square. So it is angular retardation. Alpha negative means it is angular retardation because from a higher speed it is coming to a lower speed. So definitely it is retardation motion. So we have got alpha, we have got I. So let's just multiply torque. Torque is equal to T, that is equal to I alpha. Do the multiplication, 8.163 into minus 0.209. So it's a retarding torque, that's all. 1.706 minus 1.706 unit is Newton meter or joules. So this is a 3-mark question. Direct application of the formula of rotary motion. I pass on to the next question. Question number 10. It's a descriptive question only. Distinguish damped and undamped free vibration. So question number 10. Damped and undamped free vibration. So what is damping? When your body is set to vibrating motion, it will not work, it will not vibrate over the entire time with the same amplitude. As time goes on, the amplitude reduces and finally it comes to a stop. So that property or the resistance to vibration is called damping. So damping in vibration is nothing but damping is resistance to vibration. And usually the damping force or this resisting force is proportional to velocity of the body, the velocity of the mass. The damping force is assumed to be proportional to the velocity and it is given by the damping force. If I represent F suffix D, it is given by a coefficient of damping C into X dash. X dash is nothing but dx by dt, change in velocity displacement with respect to time. So damping force is Cx dash. So a damped system means a system of vibration in which the amplitude of vibration reduces with time. That's a normal practice. An undamped system means there is no damping, there is no resistance to vibration. So the body goes on vibrating with the same amplitude. If I represent in a figure, if I want to represent the amplitude for an undamped vibration, it will be like this. This is the amplitude, maximum displacement. This axis represents the x or the displacement and this axis represents the variation along with time. So this is undamped system or undamped vibration. The amplitude remains the same throughout. In damped vibration, the amplitude initially it will be large, then after each cycle it goes on reducing like this. So here the axis is x, the displacement with time. If time is plotted like this is damped vibration. Okay, the amplitude varies with time or it diminishes with time in damping case and it remains the same in the case of an undamped system. And in both these cases, the mathematical representation, if you want to represent the system, we can express it as a mass spring system. A spring is attached to a mass. And the other system, this is undamped. And in the second system, in the system with damping, in addition to the spring, there will be a dashpot. The mass is attached to a spring of K and this is called a dashpot. This is called DASHPOT. A dashpot, a cylinder in which a piston is moving, just like a fluid is moving in the case of reciprocating engines, in the engines of cars, a piston will be moving inside a cylinder with fluid medium. This is the representation of damping. This dashpot represents damping. The equation of motion for an undamped system will be mx double dot mass into acceleration plus spring force k into x is equal to 0. In this case, the equation of motion will be mx double dot mass into acceleration inertia force plus damping force cx dash plus spring force is equal to 0. Free vibration, so that there will not be any force. So these are the differences between a damped system and undamped system. So a damped system, there will be resistance to vibration and the amplitude of vibration reduces with time. And in the spring mass model, there will be a dashpot and the equation contains expression for damping force mx double dot inertia force, damping force and spring force. In this case, there will not be any damping, there will be only a spring mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. So thank you. With that, I have completed the part A portion in dynamics. Next video, I will discuss module 4 and 5 full length questions of dynamics of this question paper December 2019. Thank you.